So this is a custom home build that I completed in 2025 in Alachua. And in this video, I'm gonna go over, the style of this home and a lot of the interesting features. This is a pretty interesting house for Alachua. It's a Scandinavian style, modern farmhouse. And so I'm gonna go over a lot of these details that we're seeing in this video. So when my clients originally approached me, they had this floor plan they'd found online from Farmhouse, which is a Scandinavian style architecture firm that sells their plans online. And so we purchased the plan, and then that is what we built the home from. And so, if you see the way the house is shaped is really unique. It's kind of like we have three separate buildings, one for the kitchen and great room area, one for the bedrooms, and one for the garage that are all connected by, what you would typically look at, in North Central Florida is like breezeways, but really it's a foyer and then a mud room connecting these different buildings. So it creates a really unique look. And then, with the way this house utilizes, windows and a lot of double doors and a, really steep roof pitch, a 12-12 roof pitch combined with the low slope roofs on those little breezeway areas, it creates a really interesting look for the house. And, also, helping select a lot of these, design choices. The homeowners hired Amanda Carry-On with Rose Wade Interior Design. So she helped, pick a lot of these colors and a lot of the finishes that we're seeing on this house. And so for starters, this house is about 2,500 square feet heated and cooled and about 3,300 total. And, from the, right from looking at the house, you'll be able to tell you one unique thing about this. It doesn't include any porch space. So, after we finished construction, the homeowners did have some hardscape put in on the front of the home and the back of the home. But during construction, we didn't have any porches. So that kind of contributes to this 2,500 square foot home having a lower than normal total square footage. This house also only has 2 bedrooms. So we have a primary bedroom and a guest bedroom. It does have an upstairs bonus room that doesn't have a door on it. It's kind of just a flex space. So it's kind of, unusual to have a 2,500 square foot home with only 2 bedrooms, but with the way the home's laid out and really, a large foyer and making use of a really big great room and kitchen area, it's kind of the way this home shook out. So it's a 2 bedroom, 2.5 bath house. And so, on the exterior of this home, leaning into that modern Scandinavian style feel, we did a Hardie panel Tamlyn reveal system. So this home, we used all these Hardie panels and then we spaced them with Tamlyn vertical and horizontal reveal clips. And so, that did add a little bit of time, a little complexity, but, you wind up with a really cool, very sleek, modern look on the outside of the house. And so, the same thing with the standing seam metal roof. We went with a black 1-inch standing seam metal roof on this house and architectural awnings, which were on the original plan. So we went with those architectural awnings over all of the these double doors. And we have quite a few double doors on this house. And the double doors in themselves, are a really interesting feature. We went with Colby Vista Lux double doors. So, you wind up with a really skinny door frame and a lot of glass. So that really contributes to the modern look. And we coupled those with Colby Forgent picture and casement windows through the home. So, the windows and doors are pretty nice window and door package on this home. And it, contributes to the feel my clients were going for. And so, going into the house, you can see right away we did terrazzo floors throughout a portion of the house. Then we did, a French oak flooring through another big portion of the house, and that was provided by Plan Furnishings in Gainesville. And they did a great job on the installation as well. Contributes to the modern farmhouse feel, so the terrazzo, something a little bit cooler. They're very high-end terrazzo floors that we purchased and installed. And then, the French oak contributes, we're on 10 acres in Alachua, so my clients did, of course, we leaned in some to the modern feel, but then also still, that farmhouse kind of organic feel as well. And so, going into the kitchen and great room pod of the house, or that section of the house, you'll see we have a masonry fireplace box, it's a gas fireplace with fireballs and, a smooth plaster and smooth stucco surround that goes up to the ceiling. We have really tall vaulted ceilings in here. And, a decorative tile hearth that the homeowner and Amanda selected. It creates a nice little accent in the family room. And then, in the kitchen, so we use straw woodworks for cabinets on this house, and they're based out of Gainesville. and they specialized in, you know, wood skin, flat face, modern cabinetry. I mean, if you go to their website, you'll see tons of cabinets that look like this. So my client knew this was a style that they wanted to go with. And so, you know, I knew right off the bat that straw woodworks would be a great fit for them. They knew that previously as well. So it was a natural fit to go with straw on this house. And, you know, straw did a great job with this house. You know, this kitchen has red elm skins in the kitchen, you know, and you can tell from the way it presents. I mean, they did a great job. They did the cabinetry, you know, the appliances came panel ready. So, you know, they put panels on, you know, the refrigerator and the dishwasher. They do a lot of low voltage work as well, you know, so the lighting in the soffit, the under cabinet lights, under shelving lights, they did all that as well. And, you know, to kind of give this feel, because we have a really tall vaulted ceiling in this kitchen, to get, you know, we didn't necessarily want to have, you know, this really tall vaulted ceiling and the cabinets just terminate nowhere. You know, we wanted the cabinets to sit underneath the soffit. So we wound up running a 30-foot long LVL across this area to hold up the soffit area. So that way the cabinets had something to terminate into at the ceiling, since the actual vaulted ceiling, you know, vaults so high. And so, you know, also in here, we use quartz countertops, you know, manufactured by Pompeii. And quartz is what I always recommend for countertops, just because there's so many color choices and it's really gonna fit color palettes that my clients are looking for. And that certainly, you know, fits here as well. And so, you know, going into the bathrooms, Straw Woodworks did the bathroom vanities as well. And, you know, in one of the bathrooms we have cypress, and in another bathroom we have Zeracote, you know, wood skin on the vanity. And, you know, in general, these bathrooms turned out great. You know, the tile combinations that my clients and Amanda selected turned out really well. You know, I'm really happy with the way they turned out, you know, in both of these showered bathrooms. And, you know, something else is very interesting. My clients leaned into a lot of wallpaper in this house. So we, you know, used some Cole & Sons and Milton & King wallpapers in the, you know, primary bedroom, on the bed wall, and then in the half bath as well. We went this leopard walk, and I'm, you know, really excited with the way this turned out. You know, it's really cool, interesting, you know, whenever guests come over and use the half bath, it's a really cool half bath. And so, you know, kind of lastly, you know, on the staircase of this house, you know, we went with white oak stair treads, and then we went with the terrazzo flooring that we used throughout the house. We used that on the risers. So it created a, you know, a really unique look with the terrazzo risers. And obviously we went with a white oak tread that, you know, we actually only put a clear coat on because the main floors were so light. We want to kind of mimic that look. That, you know, really just putting a clear coat on the treads fit the best. And yeah, you know, this was a really fun home to be able to build. You know, I love trying out different styles of homes. You know, the Scandinavian modern farmhouse is not typical for the Alachua or Gainesville area, for sure. And I love being able to add it to my portfolio. You know, the clients were great to work with. Amanda, the designer, was great to work with on this home. And I hope to be able to build, you know, more houses like this in the future, and then also others that kind of expand the style portfolio.